And welcome to the show, everybody. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Have we got fun for you today? Today it's just Brichelle and I, and we're going to have a conversation about finding meaning in everyday life and how you can live your best life every day, even though sometimes it makes it a little challenging. But we will be right back, and we will talk about all of that and so much more. Oh, by the way, Brichelle, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited to talk to you.
I know we don't get to do this much, and I'm looking forward to it. And so we'll be right back after this. There's a moment in every life when you decide to rise.
To stand taller than your fear.
To speak louder than your doubt.
To chase the vision that sets your soul on fire.
This is that moment. And here we walk it together with stories that awaken, voices that inspire,
and truths that set you free.
This is Positive Talk Radio with Kevin
and with Brichelle,
where hope has a voice.
And that voice is yours.
Can you believe that? That woman who does your voice, she's so good.
Yeah, she actually likes hearing herself now. So that's quite the thing in daily life that has changed. And when we talk about this meaning in everyday life, Kevin, what does that mean to you?
That means every time you get up, your life is empty and meaningless.
When you say that, can you please explain?
What that means is it's empty, so you get to fill it up with whatever you want to, and it's meaningless until you and nobody else assigns meaning to it.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
So you can create the life that you'd really like, or you can create a life where your frown is elevated in your face and you can't be happy. And so I don't know why I did that.
You're going to need surgery a lot early on if you're doing that.
Boy, no kidding. And we had a great talk with Dr. Michael last hour, and that was a lot of fun. And I have to tell you this. I have to tell everybody this because I'm going to stand on a soapbox and tell everybody this. Dr. Michael had not met you before. And so when we had the opportunity and he met you and it's like, oh, okay, I hope this woman is going to be okay. I mean, she might be great window dressing, but by the end of the show, you had that man eating out of your hand.
I didn't even try. I don't know what it is. It's in the flow, right? It's the conversations, and we put a lot of judgment on things when we first meet somebody and we see them, the book or the cover of the book, but we don't know what the whole book entails. I don't think that's very fair. And that show made me think so much, Kevin, especially when we're talking about the meaning in everyday life. When it comes to a smile and a frown, right? They say that it uses more muscles in your face to be upset than it does to be not so upset and showing that. And I know that you can never tell, but if people, not when, just kidding, when you get the chance to meet me in person someday, if you do, I would love for you to come and say hi. Don't be shy, even though I may look like I'm not so happy. You see this wrinkle right here? It's much more definite than you even realize.
It's character.
That's a good way to put it, but it's crazy because I feel better even in my body through workouts in my face because I choose to smile more than I choose to frown about things. Don't you think that's kind of good? I'm absorbing. I mean, not to say that I'm laughing in the most horrible situations, because I still have reaction in me, but sometimes to just laugh at what you literally cannot control, doesn't that make things better?
Well, see, as you've learned by now, I have a very peculiar sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was in high school, and my friend and I were on the back of this pickup truck, and he lost his balance and he fell off the back of his pickup truck and started tumbling on the floor and on the ground, and I laughed. Because for me, I just have a weird sense of humor, I guess. But
he got hurt. That's such a dude thing.
Yeah, but he was truly incensed when he got up and he said, "What the hell were you laughing about?" And I said, "Well, I'm sorry, you just looked really funny as you were rolling on
Exactly.
the
You
ground."
embarrassed him. You know, Kevin, I know this is off subject, but it's totally not. And let me tell you why. Do you know what a ripstick is?
I'm something comes to mind, but it's a rip.
Definitely not what you're thinking. Let me explain, okay? So
Please
it's
do,
like
because
everybody's got to know what this is. It's the most dangerous new thing, right? We had scooters that would knock out our shins and our ankles and take off toes and burn holes through our shoes trying to stop them. And I was definitely that kid. I was not in the house. I was out playing basketball. I was riding my bike. I was doing whatever I did, you know, and just being out there in the world. But there was this moment I had probably a year ago as an adult getting on a ripstick, and I'm like, I was in the moment. So I'm not thinking about my age. I'm not thinking about what I look like. I'm not thinking about how stretched I'm prepared for what I'm about to do. Because in my mind, I can do anything. So I get on this ripstick, and you have to move your feet kind of like this so that you can keep yourself moving. The problem is your feet are on that damn thing going like this. And you know, is even when you stop, you're still going. I didn't learn how to stop it. I just got on it and I just went. I sent myself. And next thing I knew, I pulled one foot off, which was the wrong choice of foot to pull off first. And my back foot came swinging up. Before I knew it, I was looking first straight in front of me. And then my body is horizontal into the air and I'm smacked down onto the concrete. It's still just stopped. And I'm looking at the sky and I remember thinking, what just happened? Like I didn't even know what I was doing. Like it all came back and it was these things that were like, why didn't I do this? Why did I do that? All these questions because I didn't have any preparation and I didn't care about being prepared. It's not to say that that wasn't something I'm capable of or could be great at, but I didn't give myself any preparation and that shit stopped me dead in my tracks. That happens a lot in our life. And sometimes there's powerful meaning in it.
that is just deep,
Hey,
and
I don't know where it came from. I just do this.
that was really. Speaking of deep, we've got Samuel is with us, and he says,
Hey, Samuel. He says, congratulations. Hello, watching you live, waiting for guests. And Samuel, guess what? There is no guest. It's us. This is the Kevin
"Yes."
and Brichelle show. So stay with us because you, of all people, understand so much. And thank you for sharing the fact that you understand finding meaning in everyday life. So don't go anywhere. And if you have questions, feel free.
And he also says,
Proud of you, brother Kevin, and my sister Brichelle. Keep it up. You know it.
and that's what we live for. Because you know what I was thinking about this, Brichelle, because I wish everyone could live in my shoes for 24 hours just to see all the things that I get to do and the people I get to meet. You've begun to taste some of that. How does that feel?
You know, I was stopped dead in my tracks 2 years ago, and then I told the universe yes. And it happened to be at the same time you said, I'm ready. So I came back around this lifetime, thank goodness at an early age, to do this work with you, Kevin. And I'm not the same person. And I love who I used to be, which is crazy for me to be able to say. I love her and I love who I am now. I love who I'm growing into. And there's so much gratitude. Like if somebody could live in the day or our shoes for the day, I think that's what they would feel the most is this gratitude, the power in vulnerability and kindness and all these things we talk about with some of our points to ponder, which we're going to play. So don't you go anywhere because you have to see them again. These things are being built into my subconscious, Kevin. And what I am thinking about is how my life is playing out, all the things I thought about doing and more than that have come to the surface. And I'm proud to be here, to be alive, and to have the honor to be somebody who gets to share understanding that life is the craziest rebuilding, constructing roller coaster you could ever possibly imagine. But getting to enjoy that, that's where the power is.
And you get to make a choice as to whether or not you're going to enjoy the changes in life. Because, Brichelle, haven't you discovered in the last couple of years that change happens?
Yeah. You know, change, here's what's crazy. And I wonder if anybody else feels this way. So please don't let me feel alone. um, I've always kind of liked change, but it's a different perspective now. It's not me in my full armor at all costs, all the time, willing to protect myself and take on anything that comes into my frame without even recognizing if I want to or not. Just in a sense of being ready to fight the whole world rather than to accept the world. Now when change happens, it's more free flowing, and it's exciting in this way of curiosity. Before, it was very, see how much more gasoline you can pour on my fire. You know what I mean?
Well, and there was a point in time, didn't you believe? And because I have, when I first started this way back in the day, I wasn't sure that I was going to be any good at it. And so I went there 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, and I didn't know until people started to say, you're pretty good at this. And I enjoy listening to the banter and what you guys do. And so it changed my whole outlook on what I was doing. But that is part of our everyday life. It's fun that we get to enjoy the change that is going on all around us. And we get to decide how we are going to respond, not react, respond to those changes and live the best life that we can. Because, by the way, I know you know this now. That's why we're here.
Yeah, you see, I want to make this point because the change that happens within us is sometimes a lot more difficult than what's going on around us. And that's weird because we control ourselves. But that's exactly why as well, because if something doesn't have your control, then whatever happens, happens. It's not your fault, right? But when you have to take accountability and acceptance and say, this is me and all I've done, this is my life, and everything about who I am and why, and the change in that, being able to see it from your own perspective rather than what the world or others have taught you. And I say this from this meaning because, Kevin, you mentioned that you worked really hard, and then all of a sudden people were telling you that the idea and the dream and the spark of purpose you felt was being felt and absorbed by other people, and they were sharing it with you. And when that first came back to me, which has been a little bit recent, it was uncomfortable. I didn't like it. It scared me because does that mean I'm being fake? But people see Brichelle and it's this vibrant, happy, go lucky, positive, of course. Brichelle's been through life though. And I've worked for everything I have. It did not come easy. I've learned a lot of lessons I put myself through, and things have been challenging, but I'm learning to accept that within myself because I'm seeing all these other people that are giving that love to me, and I wasn't willing to receive it. So now that I've recognized that I'm able to fully give it back way more than before.
And that is an important realization. I hope everybody gets that, because that is so important. Because I know we've talked a lot about the trials and tribulations that you've had, including a conversation outside at 3 o'clock in the morning, and you looked up, and 4 feet away from you was a deer looking at you.
Yeah, maybe less. I could have almost touched it. It was one of those ripstick moments. That's what I'm going to start saying. That's good. You got a ripstick moment, huh? You know what I mean? It was, Kevin, that moment was so powerful to me because I wasn't alone. I'm used to a lot of those moments when I'm alone and nobody's watching, nobody sees. They're like, Brichelle has the craziest stories. They're true. I know they're crazy. I'm the one saying it. Those moments when the universe is with you, and then you were with me too, and to be able to share that, and I still think about that so often and know that there is a meaning that I'm not supposed to understand probably for a while, but after learning to hunt them and then it's standing in front of me, like it was my friend listening to me just like completely lose my mind out of nowhere in the middle of nowhere of what I was going through. I mean, think about it. You're out in this valley, San Luis Valley, if anybody knows, it's massive. It's just this yonder stretch in little teeny tiny old school towns. And there's a deer standing in front of me, eating its vegetation at 3 a.m., just with me in my chaos. But the deer was so calm. That is weird.
Yeah, well, that is a sign, because there was a point in time, and we need to play this real quick. But when we come back, because Brichelle, there was a point in time when you were waiting for the other shoe to drop, and if you know what I mean, it means what we're going to talk about next. Don't spend your life waiting for the other shoe to drop, because it might or it might not. Here is another point to ponder by Positive Talk Radio. Positive voices don't ignore reality, they help us face it with courage. They remind us that growth is possible, even when the path feels uncertain. That connection still matters. That kindness is not weakness. It is actually a great strength. When people hear stories of resilience, purpose, and hope, something inside of them reawakens. That spark has the power to change lives, one conversation at a time. And welcome back. Go ahead, Brichelle.
Welcome back to Positive Talk Radio, everybody, with Kevin McDonald, duh, and of course me. It's just us today, so we love doing things like this. Kevin, it's funny because even when I'm not on camera, I dance.
I know you do. Well, dancing is part of your soul.
Yes, I know. I've accepted that.
Yes, indeed. And when you're dancing all the time, the other shoe drops. But when you are talking about life and things are going well, and your first thought is, oh, what's going to happen now that's going to ruin everything? Get those thoughts out of your mind, because they are the co-creator with you. And if you think something bad's going to happen, you're creating the reality of that happening. Do you believe that?
Kevin, I know why you're bringing this up, and thank you. I'm so ready to be vulnerable to talk about it, and I want people to be very open and not judgmental to themselves, because I know we all, in some way, shape, or form, can think about how we relate to this. So come from a place of love, please. I've learned to do it myself. I know that you can. Kevin, you helped me see this, and I don't remember what you said to me. It was something very particular. We were on the phone. And we were talking about how good things were, right? Because you get in these moments, these times of life it's just so damn good. And what are you waiting for? Something to go wrong. Oh, I remember what you said. This was like the most passive aggressive thing I think you've ever said to me. You asked it in a frame of a question. You came to me and you said, "Do you know the definition of self-sabotage?" Unfortunately, I think I do, but maybe I don't. So I was very open because it was you coming to me with that perspective. And I had never really thought about it more than I wanted to, even though I was aware of it, because I didn't want to change it. It was a form of control, right? That's just what we do. We're human. It's okay. And I recognized that I created that shoe. That shoe didn't even exist. It was all in what I prepared to happen, and I created it. And I realized that I kind of got myself in a knot because I'm the one who tells everybody, if you think you can, you're right. And if you think you can't, you're right. Whatever you say to your brain, you're right. And that was quite a bit of accountability. It brought up a lot.
Well, it does, but you see, Brichelle, we all do that. Every one of us self-sabotages what can be our great awakening or the next beautiful moment in our life
Right.
because for whatever reason, either we don't feel like we deserve it.
Mm. I think it's out of protection. We're trying to
That's
keep
also
ourselves
true.
safe.
Because it's for us, it's a lot easier to come up with a negative thought and say, well, I knew that was going to happen.
Mhm.
And I'm okay with that because it's safer because that's where we were rather than moving forward to where we've never been. That's the trick, is moving forward to a place you've never been before, but are excited to give it a shot and to go there. Does that make sense?
Yes, can I ask you something?
Yeah,
Do
maybe.
you know what it is? Have you heard in the frame of casting spells on yourself?
No, tell me.
Okay. I don't know if anybody's ever heard this before, but be open-minded to it. Anything you say about yourself in your head alone stands as um a spell against yourself, right? You're casting a spell. So if you are this, then okay. But if you say it out loud, you're doubling down on that spell. In the same sense of if you were to change that. Like what was the example that you just used of, oh, like people say that's just my luck. Ooh, man, you cast that spell on yourself, you are asking for everything to be out of your luck. What's a different way that we can reframe some of those things when they come up?
Well, you always look for the good in something. Now, having said that, I know that sounds really Pollyannish, and okay, Mr. Kevin, I know you're everything look for the good and stuff. But let me tell you, when my divorce came around and all my friends left, and this particular guy was I'd known for 10 years, and my wife loved him like a brother. I didn't know incest was a thing in her life, but sorry, that's just my wicked
Fair.
sense of
That's
humor.
okay. That's how you feel.
And but the reality is all of that, when I sat back and looked at it, all of it came to me for a reason and a purpose, and I created all of it. And therefore, I'm responsible for my own well being, my own success. I love, love, love. Did I tell you that I love when you talk about surrender? Talk about surrender real quick.
Okay, but first I have to ask you a question because we're not going to forget about that. I need you to help me and our audience understand something from a perspective that I know you come from, but maybe other people need to as well. You say something, Kevin, that can be a little bit like sparky to people. I don't know how to explain it. But you say in this belief, which I'm fully on board with, is this you signed up for these things in life. That made me mad when I first heard it because, oh, hell no, I did not. What do you, I don't know who you think signed me up for this, but it wasn't me. But in that sense, I'm I'm asking you this because it goes into surrender, because then doesn't it give you control if you accept that?
Oh, absolutely. You're so smart. How'd you get so smart?
I don't
That's
know. There's this one dude, his name's Kevin. He's kind of crazy, but he's really smart.
because the thing is, what it is if you are in control of everything that happens in your life, you can't control anybody else. It's none of your business what other people think of you. It's none of your business what other people do. It's how you respond to it is what makes all the difference in the world. And if you choose to respond to it in a positive way, even if that means you're not going to be around that particular person anymore,
Mhm.
because you responded to it in a personal in a positive way, that's okay because you're taking responsibility for your own actions. Does that make sense?
100%. And Oh my gosh, Kevin, I love our conversation. It's just it's like building blocks that are endless.
They are.
Okay, so here's what I want to talk about out of that, because you brought up surrender, and I've learned to understand people. I know it may not make sense, but please just think about it. When you surrender, you gain full control, because you are surrendering what you cannot control outside of you and gaining the full control you do have that lies within you. And what you just said, Kevin, I've realized where I've been stuck, and I know I'm not alone in this. When we talk about this reaction and response, there's something that happens in the middle that we take afterwards. Sometimes it doesn't, of course, your reaction and your response matters, but past that point, what you internalize.
Yes.
I am experiencing this because, yes, I am proud of myself. And yes, I am having the control to respond. But a lot of times I'm walking away internalizing a lot that's not my own based off of maybe judgment or fear. Why?
That's an excellent question.
Okay. We'll get somebody else someday to ask them that question. But how can I help myself move through it a little more? Because after these situations happen, it's just like spinning in my head.
I'm getting goosebumps. You let it be.
You're making me sweat.
I haven't had a woman tell me that in like 20 years. But you let it be, because if you internalize it, you're taking it on. You're taking on the actions of somebody else or some other thing that's outside of you, and so you just have to let it be and just let it go, and not internal. And I know how hard that can be. It is, because especially when something happens and you expect somebody else to respond or react in a certain way and they don't, and you're disappointed in their reaction or their response because it's not what you expected or what you wanted, how you wanted them to respond. But you have to let it go, because it does nothing to do with you. It has to do with their problem that they have, that they need to address, and you've got to let it go, because if you internalize it, you're bringing their shit into your world.
I think that is so important, and I am taking responsibility here and now for something I'm realizing, because in these situations of these things that we let ourselves internalize, and the whole let it be, like I'm recognizing that there's a form of me that it almost has, like, even when I handle the situation at my very best and I'm proud of myself, there may still be like this form of guilt. Maybe this is the only way I can view it, because maybe I did do something wrong or whatever has happened. And if you're especially apologizing to someone, or trying to build a relationship, it doesn't go how you think, or whatever else, you turn it back onto yourself in a way that you feel guilty for, that they're still having those thoughts, they're still having those feelings. How do you break yourself from that?
You just do. You just
You
do
make
it.
me want to smash things.
Well, can I tell you a quick story that this happened 3 weeks ago now? And this is when I'm watching TV later at night, and my whole house shakes. And I go outside, and there is a pickup truck. The back end of the pickup truck is against my deck in my house because somebody ran into it. And there was an older man who was, I live in a 55 plus community, so there are lots of older men if they're still alive. But he wasn't all that well. And he ran into my house, and he broke one of the pillars, and he moved part of the deck and stuff like that, and then he got in his truck and he said, "I gotta go," and I don't know if he'd been drinking or what, and he left. And so somebody else saw this accident, and they called the manager of the complex. And the manager of the complex came down, and I explained what had happened. And this truck was gone at this point, but I knew where he lived. He lived kitty corner right down the street from me.
Mhm.
And so the So at that moment, I had a choice. I could jump up and down and say, that man hit my house and I want him, because he worked for the complex. At the time, he and, and, and I said to the manager, I think he works for you. And I could see his head whip around to the place where that guy lived, and the truck wasn't there. And but I knew that was confirming to me that all was true. So I had a choice. I could jump up and down and scream and yell, or I could just let it be, and then I'll look at it in the morning. And because he knew about it, and that's what we decided to. That's what I decided to do. So, and this happened on a Friday night. The following Monday, I go to the office and I'm talking to this man and his wife and saying, "You remember what happened Friday night?" And he said, "Oh yes, oh yes." And I said, "Who is he, and does he work for you?" And the guy wouldn't give me his name and said, "Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. We'll take care of it on Wednesday." Well, this was Monday. Tuesday comes, Wednesday comes, Thursday comes, Friday comes, the weekend comes. 2 weeks and not a thing. It's now become a thing in the park because all the people are going. And one guy actually said, "Well, I think you should fall down and hurt yourself so that you can get more money out of it."
Dude, I will dig you back up and kill you myself. Do not even think about that. But that's hilarious. And Kevin, I know I'm like I'm exploding, and you know how I am. I know that we're live. I'm trying to be a little calmer. If you know me, people, when you meet me, I've got sometimes a lot of energy. I am very expressionate, but Kevin, I just had a beautiful moment go off in my mind because I thought of myself from your perspective in that situation. And I'd love to share that. But first, we need to share some points to ponder. Do you have one you're thinking of?
Well, let's do this, and let's play the station break, and then what would you like to play?
Just because of what I'm about to say, let's do it's also new and I'm just in love with it. The courage of vulnerability, I think, is just so damn powerful right now.
Well, we'll play that, and we'll be back, everybody. I hope you're enjoying this. I'm having a great time. And we'll be right back. You're listening to Positive Talk Radio Network. We're on a mission to entertain, enlighten, empower, and educate through inspiring music, dynamic conversations, and yes, laughter. Join me, Kevin McDonald, and Brichelle as we declare our freedom from hate, division, and fear, and celebrate a better way of living. Go to positivetalkradio.net to find out more. We often think of courage as a shield, a thick wall to prove that we are untouchable. We believe that to be strong is to be invulnerable, hiding our doubts and our soft edges behind a mask of certainty. But true courage isn't found in the armor. It's found in the willingness to take it off. Vulnerability is the act of showing up and being seen exactly as you are, even when you cannot control the outcome. It's the bravery to say, "I'm hurting, I don't know," or "I need help." When we hide our struggles, we also hide our humanity. It's only when we are vulnerable can we truly connect, truly learn, and truly heal. Armor can protect you, but only vulnerability can transform you.
And welcome back to Positive Talk Radio, everybody, with Kevin McDonald and myself, Kevin. Okay.
So you had an epiphany just now.
Yes, I did, and let me tell you, I recognized in my hands could literally probably generate something because they feel wet. Like I just put them underwater. I can't make this shit up. Okay. So I'm thinking about me in the perspective of you saying the let it be, let it go. This makes me want to, explode. I'm thinking about this in your perspective, and here's where the shift happened. That man is holding his own guilt, knowing he did something wrong. He hurt your house. He's not taking accountability. It's affecting him personally in his life, which is probably making things worse. And you, in your response, are not thinking about him all the time negatively. You don't talk about the situation negatively. You aren't going out after him negatively and wasting your Skittles on it. But we think people do that to ourselves because it's our ego talking to us when the situation happens. After it's all said and done, the most powerful voice in your head is your ego. And that's where you get to gain that control of what I am letting go and what I'm allowing, because that's not them thinking that probably ever. Maybe these people, after these situations happen, they might feel bad for me. They might wish me the best. They might still talk about the best times we had and how fun and expressive I was, or maybe there is positivity in that. And I'm only giving myself the negative, and that's not fair. Not to me, not to them. It's not showing respect to my experiences, my relationship, or myself. I am choosing to continue to harm myself with the ego mind of thinking what they would think of me instead of accepting and holding that old side of me a little bit closer and saying, hey, we're safe now. I've got you and I've got control. You don't need to be a part of this. Isn't that crazy?
That is so brilliant.
Yeah.
That is just brilliant, because
I don't do that with other people. I don't want them to ever think, if you go off in your way of life and it didn't work out for you to continue down my path or my journey, that I will ever speak harshly on your name, because that's coming back to me.
yeah.
That's where you deserve it.
Well, and that's the other thing that's so important, is that none of that matters, because you're right. He sees my place from his living room every day. Every time he gets into his truck, he has to look at my place, look at the damage that he did. I don't. It didn't affect me from the standpoint of structurally damage a place, so it had to get fixed because the house was damaged, which then that I would have treated it differently, because it needed to happen. But in this case, he didn't. And I felt so sorry for him, Brichelle, because he's an older guy. He works for the park. He works 7 days a week, because he said to me, nobody else will do that. And to do that, they knock a couple of $100 off his rent.
Yeah.
And he lives on a fixed income, and that's all he can afford. So my anger, if I were to have any, would have shifted to the park, to the guy that said, oh, we'll be there on Wednesday. And they never showed up. And then today I went to the park because I want to put an addition and to fix that and to put an addition there. And I had a choice again.
Yes.
I could have walked in there and said, hey, you muffin, you didn't do it. I'm going to report you to your boss. And then and what
ruin everyone's day just for the
The-
momentary power.
the ego of power of, look at me, I've been wrong. How many times do we say that? I've been wronged, and so I'm going to get back at the person who wronged me.
But how many times do we say, I'm sorry, I was wrong? Not as often. Kevin, I have to ask you this question. That man, I want this to be so big for people in forgiveness, because if he were to come to you, so let's say that you decided to be reactive, you get to be the reactive neighbor, and he comes over and tries to apologize to you and takes accountability and tells you pretty much that he is sorry, right? He's giving you his apology and he's pouring his heart out on the line and being vulnerable with you. And you decide to tell him, well, I don't forgive you. What if he looked at you and said, well, I forgive me, and I hope you can too, and he walked away? How are you going to, you'd have no power in that situation, and it wouldn't matter, because he would know, his integrity would be so fired up within himself that foundation he had built to say, I forgive me. And if you don't, that's okay.
And in fact, that is so brilliant, because what that did is that changed it from being he's a jerk. He hit my house, and then he hit and ran basically,
Yeah.
and stuff.
Well, because
And
you forgave him, but he hasn't forgiven himself. So
correct. And so when he came back, he did come to my house 10 days later.
it might have
At
took some
night.
courage. I don't blame him.
I'm sure it did, because I'm
From
sure he
man to
was,
man, especially.
yeah, and especially old man to old, because we could go wrestling or something. I don't know, but had I taken the stance of, you wronged me and I'm not going to forgive you and I'm going to get my just due, he would then have won, because now it's a matter of, he is in the right, I am now in the wrong.
Well, you would give him your control. You would give him all your power right then and there.
Exactly. And I would lose all of my power, because then I would be stewing about it for days and weeks until, I call the insurance company. It gets me the information finally. And then I call the insurance company, and then they jack around and they don't, oh no, we don't think that it was that big of a deal. And stuff. And the manager of the park doesn't ever even, they drive a little golf cart.
Get
And
it
they
from
go,
me. I want it.
it's like
Just kidding.
this little golf cart, and it goes,
Yeah.
and stuff. And I was leaving my house, and the golf cart with him in it was going in front of me, and on the road, and he saw me, and I could see the body language. He ducked his head straight down, looked straight down, and accelerated to. It's like, I gotta get out of here. I'm not gonna do it.
He's like,
Because
can you drive that thing safely too?
so now he has lost his power to me, because he is now, every time that he sees me, it's like, I don't want to see him. I screwed up. So my advice to everybody is, if you screw up, own up to it. If you have the opportunity, and there are times when, if your car gets broken or it gets into an accident and you need to get it fixed and that kind of stuff, there are certain things that you have to do, but you can still do it in a way that has integrity, so that you don't give up your power to somebody else. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you found the meaning in that life, in your life that day. You created that. You got to say, this was the meaning of today. And we do that sometimes without recognizing it. And let me tell you, Kevin, I got to choose what day I was going to have today. I mean, I do every day, but today tests me. You want to know why? I love insurance, right? We all do.
Oh God.
Calling insurance. It doesn't matter what kind it is. It's worse than calling a phone company. It is worse than calling the credit card company. It's worse than calling the bank. If you're calling insurance, you're just testing all of your buttons that day. And today I went through that. It was not necessarily that I was having difficult people on the line. I had amazing people every time to talk to, and I'm so thankful for that. I got to find meaning in it. But also at certain points, there was times I wanted to react. You're telling me that I'm paying $350 more than that a month to drive my car around? Like it's absurd to me, right? And instead of coming from that place, which was actually what my focus was, I woke up this morning, I'm like, I got to get this price down. I want to bundle it with my renters. I want to do all this other stuff that is beneficial for me. And although that didn't seem like a positive, I didn't make a negative out of it. It didn't have to be one or the other. It was just what it was. And then I got to keep in mind, I have the money to pay for that. I have the opportunity to drive that. I get to put gas in it. It allows me freedom. It gives me power in a way that makes me feel really good and puts meaning into my day and helps that. So if I would have chose to have the meaning of how frustrated I am with how much I'm paying for insurance on this vehicle, that would have decided my meaning for today. But that's not what I chose. And I think naturally we kind of just do that because life is moving so fast and we ruin our day before it has a chance to start.
Yeah, or we have something come up that is less than positive, and we have all of those things
Over
come up
and
all the time.
over and over and over.
And then we decide what that means. And we can decide to let it go, or to change the meaning into something else. It's like if one of the adjusters or the people you were talking to was less than cordial, you had the opportunity to say, screw you and the horse you rode in on, and stuff. But you didn't, because it hurts you more than it hurts them.
You know how I know that? Because I've been in their shoes. I've been that person working that job, getting screamed at all day long, not being able to hang up, not being able to mute myself. So I had to stay quiet and I had to listen to what people were telling me at the same time. And I used to absorb it a lot. But if we think about it from the other perspective of what we're giving people to absorb, what are you putting out there? What are you showing in your daily life how you feel about the meaning of your existence?
And you said this beautifully earlier, when you allow another energy entity, which would be a human, it could be a dog, it could be whatever it is, when you allow them to control what you or how you're going to react or how you're going to respond to any given situation, you're losing your personal control over you, which is all you have control over. And so
You know why that's even more dangerous? Because a lot of times, maybe we're not giving our power away, but we're switching it to our ego self. And that's when shit gets ugly.
yes, it can, because and then it ratchets up
But,
from
but even if this is what I've learned, people, and get on my train because I feel like I'm on it by myself. Even when you choose to do that, Kevin, I have those days still where I'll wake up, something will happen, maybe a few things happen, and they take control of me, and then it just happens. It just does, because the day didn't even start yet, and things are happening, and I've absorbed it. But I also have the power to reverse what I had created or allowed. And that's what we think, oh, well, it's all bad. Well, it can't go backwards now. Why not? Why not? You could literally just flip that right back around. It's hard, but oh my God, that's where you feel your power.
Do you remember the time when you were talking about that? And and I said, Brichelle, I want you to take your left hand, your two fingers. Yes. And I want you to put it on your wrist of your right hand. And you said, okay. And I'm surprised you even did it, but you did it. And I said, do you feel that? You mean my pulse? Yeah, you're human. Give yourself grace.
That made me cry. It made me cry.
Because
Because we don't do that. We don't take that 90 seconds it takes to feel an emotion in the first place. Let me tell you something. Do you know how many 90 seconds periods I go through in the day? I'm like, 90 seconds. It only takes 90 seconds. Okay, we're 90 more seconds. 16,000th time. We're taking 90 more seconds today. It only takes that time to realize that. And we deserve to do that. What else?
That's how you live your best life.
Yeah.
Is when you determine that nobody else is going to make my day crappy. Only I get that opportunity or that choice. It's like I told you about the guy who hit and ran on me a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
I got rear-ended, and the guy hit and ran. Now, I had a choice to make at that particular moment in time. I could go after him.
Okay. I've never done that on live. What does it matter? I'm gonna be here until I'm like 60. Okay. Can we please take our commercial break and play some points to ponder? I have a story I've never told that is actually pretty good about that.
Let's play. What do you want to play?
You get to choose. And also, before we go, Gaudi 1971 says, And hey, dude, love you. You're pretty cool. Thanks for creating me. This life is fun.
And by the way, I second that. Thank you for creating her, and she's remarkable. So let's play this real quick. And last time we played the storm and rock bottom and the sunrise together. Can I do that again?
Please do.
Here's another point to ponder by Positive Talk Radio. A sailor in a storm once battled waves so fierce they nearly sank his ship. He discovered storms, they don't last forever, but strong sailors do. Life will shake you, test you, and even try to break you. But if you hold steady and keep moving forward, the skies will clear, and when they do, you will see how powerful you have become. You are listening to Positive Talk Radio, where stories of hope come alive. I guess we're not playing that one. We'll play this one. Here's another point to ponder by Positive Talk Radio. After the longest night, the sun rose again. It painted the sky with colors no one had seen before. That's how life works. Darkness never lasts forever. No matter how long the night feels, your sunrise will come. Hold on. Light always finds its way back. You're listening to Positive Talk Radio, where stories of hope live. And welcome back. And by the way, that last one, Brichelle, I created because of you.
Oh, you're so stinking sweet. What would I do without you? Okay.
Because it's the sunrise, and you, when you get up at the sunrise or the sunset, you're better at sunsets than you are at sunrises, I think. But
not until summer comes. I'll be out fishing.
Yeah, you will be. You will be. But it's just the enthusiasm with which you treat life. It really fills my soul because when you are like you are right at this particular moment, you're enthusiastic, you're engaged, you are the most dynamic and wonderful human being, I think, that I've ever met. And I was so lucky that I manifested you, and that we got together, because we are together, Brichelle. We are going to teach many people a lot about just being kind and courageous and human.
Kevin, can I tell you a little story?
You've
never heard that one before. I know that this might be a little touchy, and that's exactly why I'm telling this story. So stick with me. I was on my lunch break working, of course, at a bank, USAA. It was great. And I was on my lunch break. I had the time to try to go home for a second because I didn't have a lot of money, and I had to get gas so that I could make it back to work, right? So I'm like, I'm going to stop for gas, hit home, and then I'll go the other way around town. Changed my mind last minute, just living my life. And I'm about to turn left at a light. This is the first time I was really ever like in a car accident where I was driving. So I was pretty young, under the age of, I think I was maybe 21. So I'm taking a left at this light. The light in front of me turns yellow. The person in front of me goes. I'm sitting in the middle of the intersection, so gotta get out of the way. So I'm tail end following the car in front of me because they're going so slow, because they're about to turn into the gas station, and so am I. So me on this car, and there's one behind us. I don't know why. I'm always watching what's going on around me. I'm a very, very absorbent person in my surroundings, and I see this car hauling ass up behind me, and I see a head like this, right? not a face. I see the top of a head and an arm like this. So it looks a little bit like this, if you can see this. And he's moving, right? And we're stopping because we have to take it through the light and then turn into the gas station. And I did what they told you not to do because I'm human. I locked up immediately, slammed on the brakes. I'm in a stick shift. I just wanted to get it out of gear so I didn't kill it. And he hit me, and I bounced back and forth from the vehicle back into him. You know what he did? He tried to run. Oh, hell no, not on my account. I chased him. Yes, I did. I don't know what's wrong with my car. I don't know if I'm losing fluid. I have no idea. But he's speeding up. So we're in a 3-lane. Okay. There's a middle lane and two both going one way. We're in the middle lane. I'm chasing him 65 miles an hour in a 35 down the middle lane because he's trying to get away from me. And that's not going to happen right now. I did think that there was kids in front of, in the car in front of me, which turned out there wasn't. Very good. That whole situation with the person I hit and the police officer was just great. So I'm trying to save my time. She can't tell the story quite fast enough. So stay with me. So this happens. I'm chasing him down the middle lane. He pulls into a house onto the left. I flip my car around, burning out, and pull over. And he gets out of his vehicle, Kevin, and did exactly what I thought he was not going to do. He got down on his knees in the road, grabbed my hands, a full-grown man, crying, sobbing. Obviously, he was drunk. That's not what I cared about at this point. It was about his integrity because you just hit me and ran. And I caught up to him. He was just a complete disaster. And I never recognized that in that moment, my humanity meant way more to me than what just happened. I saw how bad he was hurting. I knew as well that he wasn't legal. And I was not about to be the reason that that entire family or whatever was going on behind those doors was broken up because of me and him making that decision, which was a mistake. And he knew it. I bet he never did that again. And I didn't go after him, but I went back to the gas station. I walked in, threw the doors open. I'm like, did anybody in here just get in a car accident? And I have these two men, they're boyfriends, and they're like, we thought we went over the curb. And I'm like, nope, that was me. I hit you. Sorry about that. We should probably call the police. So they invited me in their vehicle. We sat and ate some nachos. We laughed about the situation. And a police officer that came, she was late because some older man had just bought a vehicle. And as he's driving it home, no insurance, no nothing, barely got the title in hand, lights on fire. He's watching it burn down in front of him 3 minutes after having that. And I just thought, how lucky am I to be me? I'm still okay. And I didn't react out of the way that I was feeling angered to destroy someone else's life because they made a mistake and I happened to be involved in it. And yes, I thought that I had fractured my spine and might have been paralyzed for the rest of my life a few hours later. And thank goodness that I'm not. But that was a pivotal moment that I experienced when I was young, and I loved accepting how much I loved other people. And I think it's also when I finally accepted how much I could feel others and didn't see it as a negativity for once. So what do you think of that?
I think, first of all, if ever you're in an accident, make sure that you get medical treatment so that you don't feel like you're paralyzed 2 hours later.
Yeah,
But
they were
at the
very
same,
concerned.
but the humanity that you showed, even though he was drunk and he probably didn't have, he was going to end up in jail. And I'm willing to bet that the lesson that he learned, hopefully, and you see, even if he didn't learn that lesson, it's still out of your control.
Yes, but it feels good for me to walk away with.
Yes. And so at the end of the day, you felt like you had done the right thing.
Yeah.
And that,
And Kevin, I thought about it every day. I was in a neck brace working on the top floor of this glass building in this bank, making phone calls all day, just sitting there damn near looking paralyzed. And I felt good. And I really did. I tried to make the best of it because in I mean this in the most loving way, but I wasn't him,
no,
you know?
no. And by the way, and you just said something that I think is important. And I hadn't really thought about it this way, but I'd love your opinion on this. When life happens to you and you do the thing that makes you feel good, and that good about yourself, good about the situation, and that doesn't mean you feel good by punching somebody out, but you feel good internally and in your heart. Isn't that the right way isn't that the right way to live?
Yes, because then you walk away with your dignity or without it. your power as well. It's do you want to feel, oh my God, Kevin, my mom's gonna love me when she hears this. She has been telling me since I was 9 years old about instant gratification. And later gratification is so much more worth it. You know what I mean?
Yes, it's not what happens in
Not
that
temporary,
moment.
it's solid.
Yes, it's not what happens in that exact moment. It's how you're going to think about it in the days, weeks, and months to come. Because, as an example, going full circle, every time that neighbor of mine leaves his house, he has to think about the fact that he hit me and damaged my place and didn't even show up for 10 days. And all of that's a negative. I don't even think of him. I don't even look at him. It doesn't, none of that matters. Because of, I made peace with it. And in many ways at my tender age, dear, and I think you know this, I've made peace with myself as well.
You know, Kevin, I'm realizing that's not because you find the meaning in your days. You choose it. Like,
oh, that is brilliant. Right? That is simply brilliant.
You don't got to find it. You don't got to search. You don't got to seek. You get to choose. It's all available. It's all there. Every single option of every situation you come across, the possibility is there, people. We're not living in a one-dimensional world. If you think you are, you're alone. Sorry. Every possibility of every situation is already created, but you get to choose it.
So choose wisely.
Yes, always. And deserve it for you. Feels good, I promise.
And Brichelle, you are amazing. And thank you for this hour. It's gone so fast again.
As are you, Kevin. Thank you so much. And we do this all the time, but we got to share it. And that's what's special.
It really is. And we've got another show in a half hour or so. We need to take care of personal stuff. And Brichelle and I will be back at 3:00.
We love you, everyone. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for being part of Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald, where stories inspire and voices remind us of what truly matters. May today's conversation give you hope, courage, and a reason to keep moving forward. And just remember, till next time, be kind to one another because each other's all we've got.